Welcome, everyone. We're diving deep today into a fascinating organization I bet many of you haven't heard of, the Civil Applications Committee.
Yeah, it's really quite something, all the things they do.
So in this deep dive, we're going to uncover what the Civil Applications Committee is all about, its history, and the real-world impact of this group that often, frankly, flies under the radar.
It's remarkable how much they accomplish considering how few people even realize they exist.
That's for sure. And we're going to look at some pretty cool stuff, things they've been a part of, monitoring volcanoes, supporting disaster relief, helping to track oil spills. You'll be blown away by just how much they do.
The Civil Applications Committee is essentially a bridge, you know? It connects the world of remote sensing technology and data collected by the military and intelligence community with civilian purposes.
Okay, so they're ensuring that information, maybe gathered for one purpose, can be used to benefit the public in various ways. That sounds like a delicate balance to strike.
Oh, it is, and safeguarding privacy and civil liberties is absolutely paramount in their work. You can think of it like this, like a giant library filled with unbelievable satellite images and data. This data could help scientists, disaster relief workers, really anyone, understand the world better. And the Civil Applications Committee is like the librarian, right? Making sure everyone has access to the information they need, while, of course, respecting where it came from.
I love that. So how did this committee come about? Where does this story begin?
Well, the roots go all the way back to the beginning of satellite technology. Back in 1960, the first United States satellite dedicated to photographic reconnaissance was launched. And even then, people saw the potential of this kind of data for things like, mapping and resource management.
Yeah, makes sense. Images from space that must have totally changed our understanding of the planet, right?
Oh, absolutely. By 1965, the Bureau of Budget was already doing studies on how to use satellite imagery for civilian mapping projects. It was becoming clear that this information had huge potential beyond its original purpose.
So how did things develop from those initial studies to the formation of the actual Civil Applications Committee?
It was a gradual process, In 1967, President Johnson's science advisor put together this special committee to explore how civilian agencies could utilize those images. And just a couple of years later, the United States Geological Survey opened a facility dedicated to using this imagery for updating topographic maps. And you know what? Other federal agencies started using it too.
Oh, interesting. So even back then, there was already collaboration happening between different parts of the government.
Exactly. It really highlighted the potential of sharing this type of information. And then in 1975, President Ford made it official. He directed the Secretary of the Interior to establish the Civil Applications Committee.
So 1975 was a big year then, marking the official beginning of the CACI.
Yes,
Right.
and for a while it operated kind of behind the scenes, But then in 1995, they lifted the curtain and the world learned about all the amazing work this committee had been doing for 2 decades.
It's really interesting how the committee's history reflects how the relationship between technology, information, and the public good has evolved.
It really does. And speaking of the public good, let's talk about what the Civil Applications Committee actually does, their day-to-day work. Their official mission is to facilitate the appropriate civilian use of overhead remote sensing technologies and data collected by military and intelligence capabilities, including from commercial sources.
So they're not just about accessing the data, they're finding creative, responsible ways to actually use it.
Absolutely. That's a key part of it. They ensure that data collected for, let's say, one purpose can also be used to help public safety efforts, respond to disasters, further scientific research, and even manage things like land and water resources. Making sure this is all done responsibly, safeguarding privacy and civil liberties, that's a huge responsibility.
Wow, that's a lot to juggle. Can you give us some concrete examples of the impact the CACI had? Like, what does it look like in action?
Okay, sure. Let's take volcano monitoring. The United States Geological Survey, they work with the KANGSI, and together they actually monitor over 200 volcanoes around the world.
Over 200, wow. That's impressive.
Right. They use those remote sensing technologies to detect any changes in volcanic activity, which is essential for things like aviation safety and, of course, for keeping people living near those areas safe. For instance, during the 2018 eruption of Kilauea in Hawaii, the Civil Applications Committee played a critical role. They provided real-time data to the United States Geological Survey's Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, allowing them to track the lava flows and warn local authorities and the public about potential hazards.
That's a powerful example of how their work directly translates to, saving lives and protecting property.
Exactly. Another area is wildfire response. The CAC helps with real-time wildfire detection and mapping. This is incredibly valuable for firefighters and incident commanders on the ground. Think about the 2021 Dixie Fire, the biggest single fire in California's history. The CAC provided round-the-clock coverage, sending out urgent alerts and disseminating over 1,800 fire outlines.
It's amazing how this kind of data can be used for such a wide range of applications.
You're telling me. They also support research and testing of remote sensing systems to detect and monitor oil spills. This is all about trying to prevent environmental disasters like the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. Researchers can actually track the movement of oil spills using remote sensing data, assess the damage, and develop more effective response strategies.
It's clear they're really at the forefront of using this kind of geospatial intelligence to benefit society. What I find really cool is that they're always pushing the boundaries of what's possible with this data. One thing that comes to mind is the Global Fiducials Library. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. The Global Fiducials Library is a collection of satellite images of environmentally sensitive sites all around the world. And these images, they've been collecting them since the 1990s, which gives us a valuable historical record of environmental change.
So it's like a time machine for the planet, almost.
Exactly. Scientists can compare images from different years and track things like deforestation, glacier melt, coastal erosion. It's incredible. It helps us understand how the planet is changing over time.
And these images were originally collected for something completely different. Wow, it really shows the power of collaboration, finding new ways to use data that already exists.
For sure. And it highlights the CC's unique position. They work at what they call the triple junction.
Triple junction, that's interesting. Tell me more.
Picture the Civil Applications Committee standing at this intersection of three major forces: the intelligence community, the Department of Defense, and federal civilian agencies. That's the triple junction.
So they're literally at this crossroads of information and expertise from these different sectors.
Precisely. This allows the SEC to tap into the expertise and resources of all three to benefit the public. They're able to see the big picture in a way that no other organization can.
They truly are in a unique position. This has been really eye-opening. I think we need to take a quick break to digest everything we've learned so far about the Civil Applications Committee. We'll be back soon to delve even deeper into their incredible work.
Geospatial is evolving faster than ever. Machine learning, generative AI, stunning satellite imagery, and powerful open source solutions are transforming the way we understand our world. But how can you stay ahead of the curve? Simple. Project Geospatial is your hub for everything happening in the geospatial world. We're more than just a podcast. We're a platform with insightful interviews, comprehensive event coverage, and engaging discussions from across the entire geospatial ecosystem. Explore the latest trends, connect with industry leaders, and discover the future of location tech. Find talks from events such as Phosphor-G North America, the GeoEnt Symposium, or Fed Geo Day, and many more. Visit projectgeospatial.org or visit us on your favorite podcast app. Project Geospatial, surfing the waves of the geospatial frontier.
As we were saying, the Civil Applications Committee really occupies this critical space, connecting these different worlds of information and expertise.
Yeah, it's amazing how they can bring these different areas together for the common good. What I'm really curious about is how they see their role evolving, looking ahead. What are the big trends that are shaping the work of the Civil Applications Committee?
Well, one of the most significant trends is the increasing use of artificial intelligence, and specifically how it's being used to analyze all this geospatial data.
Right, that makes sense. The sheer amount of data being gathered from satellites and all these remote sensing technologies, it's got to be overwhelming.
Oh, it absolutely is. Artificial intelligence algorithms can go through massive amounts of data, identify patterns, extract insights that we as humans might miss completely. And this has the potential to change everything from how we respond to disasters to how we monitor the environment.
Like having a superpowered assistant to analyze all that data, right?
Yeah.
Helping us see things we might otherwise not even notice.
Exactly. And there's another trend we're seeing, the rise of open source geospatial tools. These tools are making it so much easier for researchers, citizens, even governments to access and analyze this data themselves.
So it's about making this information more accessible, more democratic in a way.
Exactly. It's empowering people to make their own discoveries and contribute to solving global challenges. The Civil Applications Committee is really involved in promoting the use of these open source tools. They see the potential for getting more people involved in this field.
That's great to hear. It really fits with their mission of making this kind of information available for everyone's benefit. But with this increased access, I imagine there's some challenges too, right?
Oh, of course. One of the biggest ones is the need for standardization.
And why is standardization so important when we're talking about geospatial intelligence?
Think of it like trying to put a puzzle together where all the pieces are slightly different shapes. It's kind of like that when you're trying to work with geospatial data from different sources, especially if there aren't clear standards.
So having these standards ensures that the data can be easily shared and integrated.
That's exactly it. It's making sure everyone is speaking the same language, which is crucial, for getting different systems to work together and making sure that analyses are accurate.
It sounds like a complicated task, but a really important one.
Oh, it is. The Civil Applications Committee is actively involved in a lot of different working groups and committees that focus on developing and implementing these data standards. They know that standardization is key to really unlocking the potential of geospatial intelligence.
So they're not just using the data, they're really helping to shape the future of how this information is used.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really on the cutting edge of these advancements in geospatial intelligence.
They really are, and their dedication to collaboration is something else. They work with so many different partners, from government agencies to universities to private companies. They realize that the problems we're facing, like climate change, natural disasters, are too complex for one organization to handle alone.
A real team effort, bringing in the best minds from different fields.
You got it. And their membership reflects this collaborative approach. It's a really diverse group, representing a wide range of interests and expertise. The Civil Applications Committee has principal members from organizations like the Department of the Interior, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Commerce, all sorts of others. Plus, they have associate members and ex officio members, bringing in even more perspectives.
It sounds like a true powerhouse of geospatial intelligence, all focused on tackling these big challenges. And this work, it really has a concrete impact on people's lives. We talked about volcano monitoring, wildfire response, oil spill research, but I bet there's even more.
Oh, for sure. They're involved in supporting disaster relief efforts, monitoring environmental change, even mapping and charting. Their work is pretty far-reaching.
It's pretty inspiring to see this organization working so hard behind the scenes, making a real difference. And they managed to do all of this while still adhering to all the guidelines to protect privacy and civil liberties, right?
Absolutely. They take that very seriously. They have strict oversight mechanisms to ensure that the data is used in a proper and ethical way.
That's got to be crucial given how sensitive some of the data they work with can be.
It is. And their success really shows how committed they are to transparency, accountability, and doing what's right for the public. They found a way to balance innovation with responsibility, which is no easy feat.
This has been truly eye-opening. I knew about the Civil Applications Committee, sure, but I had no idea how extensive and impactful their work is.
It's been great talking about them with you.
They truly are unsung heroes, working quietly to make the world a safer, more sustainable, and more informed place. I think we need a moment to let all this sink in. We'll be back soon with our final thoughts on this fascinating committee.
Geospatial is evolving faster than ever. Machine learning, generative AI, stunning satellite imagery, and powerful open source solutions are transforming the way we understand our world. But how can you stay ahead of the curve? Simple. Project Geospatial is your hub for everything happening in the geospatial world. We're more than just a podcast. We're a platform with insightful interviews, comprehensive event coverage, and engaging discussions from across the entire geospatial ecosystem. Explore the latest trends, connect with industry leaders, and discover the future of location tech. Find talks from events such as FOSS4G North America, the GeoEnt Symposium, or Fed GeoDay, and many more. Visit projectgeospatial.org or visit us on your favorite podcast app. Project Geospatial, surfing the waves of the geospatial frontier.
We're back, ready to wrap up our exploration of the Civil Applications Committee. Wow, I'm still thinking about all this. It's really incredible.
It is, isn't it? You wouldn't think this group kind of working behind the scenes would have such a huge impact, quietly making the world a better place.
True unsung heroes. So as we close out this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways you want our listener to remember about the Civil Applications Committee?
I think the biggest thing is the Civil Applications Committee really shows us what's possible with collaboration, with sharing information. They've proven that connecting things that seem totally separate, like intelligence work and public safety can lead to some really amazing outcomes.
They're like master weavers, taking all these different threads of information and expertise, creating something really valuable.
Perfect analogy. And it's important to remember their work has a real impact, helping to predict those volcanic eruptions, track wildfires, monitor those oil spills. They're actively involved in protecting lives, protecting the environment, helping us understand the planet better.
And they're doing all this while navigating like a constantly shifting landscape, adapting to all these new technologies and challenges. We talked about the rise of artificial intelligence, those open source geospatial tools, for example.
Right. The Civil Applications Committee is not only embracing those advancements, they're pushing for those important data standards we talked about to ensure that information can be used effectively and responsibly. They're not just keeping up with the future of geospatial intelligence, they're shaping it.
That's what's so inspiring, right? They're not just reacting to events. They're proactively searching for ways to use information to make things better.
Exactly, and I think there's a lesson there for all of us. In a world flooded with data, it's more important than ever to think about how we can use that data to solve problems, make good decisions, create positive change.
For sure. The Civil Applications Committee is a perfect example of what can happen when we work together, embrace innovation, and really commit to the public good.
I couldn't agree more.
This has been an amazing journey. A huge thank you to you, our expert, for helping us understand this incredible work the Civil Applications Committee does.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We encourage you to keep learning about the Civil Applications Committee and the whole world of geospatial intelligence. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more we understand how information can be used to benefit us all, the better chance we have of creating a brighter future. Until next time, stay curious.